Welcome to the Veterinary Marketing Podcast, where it's all about helping your veterinary practice attract, engage, and retain clients. Broadcasting a new podcast every Monday from sunny Southern California, here's your host, Brandon Bashirs.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to episode number 193 and a half of the Veterinary Marketing Podcast. Hope you're having a wonderful day. In today's episode, we're going to talk about an update that's coming to Google browsers. And this is something that's happening across the board with pretty much all browsers. And it's going to affect your digital marketing tracking pretty significantly. So we're going to talk about it. It's kind of a bummer, to be honest. But if you know about this and there's plenty of time to prepare for it, you're going to be okay. So before we begin, I want to mention a few things. First, if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe in iTunes, Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you ever have any questions or you need help with anything, be sure to head on over to the Facebook group, The Veterinary Marketing Nerds. If you go to facebook.com/groups/The Veterinary Marketing Nerds, or you just search The Veterinary Marketing Nerds, you can join the Facebook group. All right, so let's jump into today's episode. Today we are talking about third-party cookie tracking. And Google announced that they have been making pretty sweeping updates to what's going to be allowed, what won't be allowed, and it's pretty clear that they've said that third-party cookies will not be allowed. They won't be supporting them in their Chrome browser starting in 2022. What that means is that pixel tracking is not going to be as effective in its current state. And this could have some pretty significant impacts on tracking in general for your ads. So I think that a few things. If you're trying to figure out what your attribution is for ads and campaigns and things like that, I think it's important that you develop clear and simple methods to track conversions, and so that you know exactly which conversions are coming from which channels. Since pixel tracking is going to significantly change and attribution for that pixel tracking is going to change, it's, I think, important that you have probably just everything as simple as possible. And what I mean by that is probably every channel that you're running ads on needs to have its own landing page that only gets traffic for its own medium. That way you're going to be extremely clear on where your conversions are coming from. So, for example, if you have a Google Ads running, have a Google Ads offer that only traffic goes from Google Ads to the Google Ads offer. So that way, if you know somebody's completing an offer, you're going to be able to know this came from Google Ads. If you have a Facebook ad running, create a Facebook-only ad offer so that you can find out if people are coming in from Facebook. That's, I think, the simplest way to do it. And since veterinary practices don't sell things online, like e-commerce tracking, you're not able to track revenue directly and right away. I think it's important that you're able to understand where are your clients and your customers coming from, and how did they get there, which ads are working, and I think that this does that for you. URL tracking is, I think, probably one of the safest ways to track as well. So if you have Google Analytics set up, tracking based on URLs is always going to be a fail-safe way as well. So I think in general, the pixel tracking and third-party tracking is probably not in the best interest of the consumer just because of privacy and things. And so these updates are actually good for consumers in general. And there's definitely been a backlash against data sharing and things ever since, I would say, the last election. And so I think this was just inevitable, and it's important that you understand your attribution for conversions, your traffic. And so make sure that your Google Analytics is set up well, because it's going to be important definitely in the future here. So I hope that made sense. If you have any questions, you need help with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll see you on the next episode. Have a good day.